mentioned something about Zafaera and Missy Elliott or like throwbacks. Gwen Stefani was at the rodeo yesterday.
Oh yeah, she was.
People were going hard for Gwen.
I would have gone fucking hard for Holla Back Girl.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
fucking
gonna
shit,
tell you
man.
right now, I have never been to the rodeo here in Houston.
Really?
And as a like people, if Houstonians that are
That's
out there
kinda
listening to
crazy.
this, you're gonna fucking roast me for that. I think the rodeo is just cosplaying cowboys, and it just comes once a
We
year.
were talking about this earlier.
I
Yes.
think
Why would you say
I
that
think the
to
rodeo is
them?
Houston's second Halloween. Or first Halloween.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this.
So y'all
we were
can come
talking
at
about.
me.
Look,
with the rodeo like that, but
no. Look, I'm gonna put myself on the roasting pan right here because he said that, and I actually am one of those people that only has boots and only has Western wear to wear to the rodeo. I will never wear it anywhere else.
I will
So
say,
to me, I'm a
why
cowgirl
it's
during that
Halloween.
moment, and that's
I
it.
get that because we got ready to go to the rodeo yesterday, and I was trying to get my most. It wasn't that rodeo, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I was wearing like Doc Martens, but I will say though, like that's what we think because we like.
There's
Just
a select
don't
few of people who
surround
do that, yeah.
ourselves with those people.
But there are people who wear like that all the
A
time.
lot of people in Houston wear boots every fucking day.
I'll clarify.
And they get their jeans on
I'll
Carpenter's.
go ahead
you
and
know what
clarify.
I mean? I think the majority of people that are going to the rodeo are truly
They like that. They're into that vibe.
Okay.
And we're not. I'm not.
If you are the kind of person that on a regular basis looks like a cowboy, you're excluded from that fact.
Yeah.
Because that's
I
your
thought you
vibe.
were talking about the actual rodeo show. Like I thought you were
Oh,
talking
no.
about
Like
I'm
the
talking
people
about
who
the
just
entirety
go.
of the-
No,
like
I know,
even
I
the
got that
carnival.
later,
Like
but-
I've seen people on my fucking like every year. It never fucking fails, with the exception of COVID of 2020. I'm on like watching people's stories, and I'm looking at people, and I'm like, you don't look like that, bro. That's
But
not
it's
your.
fun.
That's not.
Who
I know it's fun.
cares?
I know it's fun. I'm just being like a fucking.
Hater.
I'm just being annoying and a hater about it because those same people, like if you're my sister and she says I'm one of those people, I only have it because of the rodeo,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do it, and yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, all right, cool. That's where that conversation ends. But for years, and I'm talking about for probably a decade and a half now, I've heard, no, you gotta like respect your Texan history. I'm like, get the fuck out of here and your Texan
Okay.
history. You ain't never celebrated. When's the last time you went to the Alamo? When's the last time you went to go celebrate the
Last time
Alamo?
you remember the Alamo, huh?
Yeah. When's the last
you
time
even know why they fought at the Alamo?
When's the last time you went to the biggest tourist trap in Texas just to go pay respect to the men to your Texas history, which had more Mexicans in it than Texans?
I was about
Absolutely.
to be like, that's really bold to tell
Yeah.
to a Mexican man
Right,
too.
but like I've said that in my mind. I'm like, when's, you know what I mean? Like, what? Enlighten me about the Texas history that you know so much about, that you're trying to honor.
Can you tell me
on
about
this
the
day.
last two
When
governors that we
We're
had, please?
so
Thank you very
glad
much.
about this.
Yes, I got heated about it because I'm just like, what you mean Texas history? You would like, okay, so we used to say the Texas pledge as every morning in like elementary and middle school. That doesn't qualify as like you being a Texan history like fanatic now. You know what I mean? And it just annoys me because of the pet peeve of mine is like inconsistencies just in general. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, come on,
Damn,
man.
that
Just
really
say you
is
like
your
going
pet
there and
peeve.
dressing like it, and then that's that. And just take it in, like take it on the chin. And like it is what it is. But some
But
people will go
there
hard
can
the other way,
explain-
and I'm just
there
like, nah,
can
don't do this to
exist
me.
both.
There are some people that I know that they do have a history of where their lineage dates back to like these specific kinds of Texas roots. And I've talked to them, and I'm just like, yo, yo, that's wild. And they live in the city, they live in Houston, they live in like, you know what, a nice neighborhood. You know what I mean? They're Houstonians in the sense that they like being in a big city, but like they also have a heritage of like, you know. And I've seen it, and I'm just like, all right, these people exist. I can verify that. Excuse me. I can verify that these people exist, and when they're at the rodeo, they're like on the board, and they're part of like a whole bunch of shit. And I really like those people. They're great, you know. So I'm like, okay, so not everybody, obviously, but there is a lot of people. The Houston rodeo is the biggest rodeo in Texas, which means
Is it the biggest rodeo in the States?
in the world, I guess, because we're the only ones that really have rodeos.
That's not true. Austin has a rodeo.
But I'm pretty
No, I'm saying like the
I'm
biggest
pretty
in the
sure
world.
in the States, I think we're the biggest rodeo ever. Like, then that brings in the most money
States?
as well.
Right,
Probably.
which
If I'm not
means,
mistaken.
by definition, there's a whole
Probably.
bunch of Houstonians that don't look like they belong at the rodeo, pretending to look like they belong at the rodeo.
Let them. You fucking hater. I don't even fuck with the rodeo that bad, and you got me out here defending it.
Yeah,
Like,
I go hard on it. And sorry, Houston, y'all don't have to like me for that.
Damn. Okay, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is the largest livestock exhibition and rodeo in the world, and includes one of the richest regular season professional rodeos.
I know Dallas has one.
Yo, I didn't know we were famous like that.
You know.
We just flipped sides. I just said exactly what you said, and you said
what I said. And you know, a lot of Canadians come in for the rodeo.
Bro,
because there's a lot of cowboys in Canada,
really,
which I didn't know.
No.
Look, okay, I find it really hard to believe.
Nobody looks like that in any other place in the world.
As a Texan, I find it really okay. That sounds really stupid.
Like
as a
Texan, the only other times I've seen like real cowboys is in Mexico when we go to the Hirapeo and shit. And I'm just like, yo, I understand. Like my grandpa used to look like a cowboy. Like our grandfather, we have pictures, fucking charro and everything. Like you know, Texan and Mexican history are very heavily intertwined. So I get it. I get it. But also,
el jaripeo.
Jaripeo. What did I say? This how much. So this how you know.
You said el jirapero. It's jaripeo.
Jaripeo. Okay, so that's how you know that if I ever walk into a room and I look like I'm going to the rodeo, you guys would fucking clown on me.
Yes, we would.
Hard. Dude, even if I didn't have this opinion, because you would look at me, just picture it. Picture the hat. Picture the square boots. Picture the square boots and the flared out pants. Picture the tucked in, like, look at her. They're like, you know what I mean? It's wild. No, okay, because why? Because like, you know that shit don't belong
to me. If you were going
to
the rodeo, you wouldn't wear a fucking flannel.
No. Why don't own a flannel?
No way you don't.
He doesn't own a flannel. He does not own a flannel. No, as a fact,
I own like striped like dress shirts, but that's not a flannel.
No, he doesn't own flannels.
I don't own a flannel.
You know, flannels are not just like they're not like a cowboy thing.
But it's also not his vibe.
I buy them because they're cowboy-esque. I just don't. I don't have like
because like okay, no, going back to that.
I had the interest in owning.
Going back to the fact that you like don't would never fit the aesthetic, nor can you ever fit that aesthetic.
Fucking hat.
Well, I mean, yeah.
How does that look?
Goofy as hell.
Goofy and out of place. That's exactly what you look like.
A rodeo hat and everything. Like,
can you please be that for Halloween?
Trying to get a fried Oreo. Like it's not it.
Going in for a funnel cake
or a funnel cake like that. Like just picture it. That's not happening.
A funnel cake right now.
That's not happening. That's not cute. You know?
I mean, it's like you said. It's like when our dad wears this shit.
You could wear this to the fucking rodeo. It's like you don't have to try that. You can wear something that you own.
No, yeah, but like I feel like when you go to the rodeo,
if I ever do go to the rodeo, I'm gonna look normal.
Never been to the rodeo.
I'm gonna look like you look right now.
It's so fun. Yeah, there's a lot of people that.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what's crazy though?
Pants yesterday, like who fucking.
I am no, but I mean it's crazy though that you say that, but I am 100% that person that you say that there are.
It's so fun.
Because I 100% believe, and I want to believe, and I'm gonna go to the rodeo, and I'm gonna wear these expensive ass boots that I never ever like to wear because they're so fucking uncomfortable. I will wear
any problem
all of
with
it.
You saying I'm cosplaying a cowboy.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with that.
You have a problem with people trying to tell you that they're not.
I have problem with people trying to justify it as something that's more than cosplaying
Absolutely
a cowboy.
Bullshit. Because I literally wear that shit to look like a cowgirl when I would never. Maybe I want to find myself a cowboy,
you know? It's the same
but
way where like when they have like Comic-Con and people like cosplay like characters. Yeah. I'm like, that's fucking great. You want it to look like that character and you know you're
But you know what though? Anime cosplayers know that that's what they're doing though. They're not out here trying to pretend like this is my culture.
Was all like, yo, the rodeo's here. Time to cosplay a cowboy. I'm like, fuck it up. Fuck it up. Go do it. Live it up. I'm with you. Take a shot for me.
Let's go to Kevin Nurse.
Like, where are you getting these people? Because I feel like the majority of people are like that.
Have you met people that try to justify their Texanness?
No.
You have got to meet
No,
somebody.
I know a lot of my friends genuinely wear that kind of stuff.
You do on the regular.
Like a lot of my friends either know that they're cosplaying or going to dress aesthetically for the rodeo, or they genuinely wear that kind of stuff all the time. So
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I've never actually met anybody who thinks that way.
Damn,
though.
I might be alone here.
I have never met somebody that is like, I don't dress like this on
That
the
it's
regular.
like oblivious to the reason why.
It means a lot to me, so I'd like to do it for the like. Nobody's fucking doing that. Everybody's just pretending, and that's the fun part.
It's just like we're all pretending. Like let's be real here.
It's like, oh my god, we had to pretend that we are actually like in the middle of Texas when we live in Houston.
Well, we have a lot of family members that look cowboy-esque because like. Yeah, because like they'll go to work with those kinds of things. They're carpenters and they're, you know what I mean. And I understand. All our family gatherings. There's a whole bunch of hats everywhere and like, you know, boots and shit. And they'll go to Escapade and they'll fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, you know? and they're norteños and regios and shit and like, got it. But you we can say that is part of our
it's part of our culture, essentially,
our heritage to some degree. But picture me in that shit.
No,
it's not happening.
No,
it's just
I could never.
Right,
and so much so that I would 100% pay money to see you dress up as that for Halloween because it's so out of character.
Picture of me in overalls.
I just hope that one day I do get to see you dressed like that.
Bree has a blackmail. She goes, I'm gonna take this. Like, I need you to wear these like big old overalls, like a farmer overalls.
So what I'm hearing is you were wearing like a glorified romper.
Yes, a pant romper.
A romper.
And she
has a romper, my dear.
Just in case she needs to blackmail me.
You know the romper story?
Oh, I sure do.
You sure know the romper story?
Bursted out laughing.
Okay, you
at a
told
bar in Midtown.
So he told me this romper story when I think
I'm not gonna tell it today.
It was not the eve. It was the day after my birthday at a brunch in
at Rustic.
At the Rustic.
Yeah.
The way
she fell out of her chair.
I was just like so fucking out of I lost my fucking mind listening. It was so,
story.
I was really
where is this gonna go?
I know.
Like,
I really was like,
gonna go wrong.
I know. I was like, how is this funny? Like, all I'm hearing is you getting some. I don't understand what's happening here. And then he like finished it, and I was like, there's no fucking way that this actually happened to somebody.
We were
in
at
real
a bar
life.
in Midtown, and I think one of us was having like a rough day. Like it might have you might, and I was like, I'm gonna cheer you up with like what the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, you had mentioned something about like this happened, and then I was like, you have to tell me the story, and then eventually you told me, I think.
Yeah. All right. And then like
Something
we were just going for like one drink and like a shot or something like that. We ended up at like 5 shots because she could not believe it. She was just sitting there like, oh my God.
Because I was only thinking as the girl, and I was like, I just don't. I could never look at you in the eyes again. Like, we would have to continue our lives as strangers.
Which is what happened.
Yeah, and it was the only right thing to do. You know what I mean? It's like, there was no alternative. And it just also, I feel like it broke this, like, mystique about you. You know what I mean? It's like, you seem like you were one person to me before you told me this story, and you were a completely different person to me after you told me that. I was like,
mystique. You had a mystique, Juan.
What did you think
it was the only word I could think of.
What did you think I was before then?
A lot smoother.
Well, technically, per the story, I was pretty smooth up until the very end.
Right.
No, because the more I think about what you're saying, the more I remember the way he was telling us the story. Like, and it really seemed like Juan was ultra fucking smooth the entire fucking way.
Like, you
are.
Fucking game. You know
you got game.
Like, you got fucking game.
You got game.
So
don't lie to yourself.
I'm like, I see, and like, I don't mean that in like a fuckboy kind of way.
No. I was like, she ain't got no fucking.
I was like, you will not fucking believe how this ended up happening. No, but I'm saying like, you're very charming.
You're very charismatic.
I can see how you can like. How if you make a move, like you'll find a way to like, you know, like
how girls get wooed.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
I can see that being true when then.
And then that happens.
And then I can see that not being true. So
now we know that's not always the case.
And I'm a fairly confident person. So like, for me to be embarrassed, it takes a lot, if that. And that was really embarrassing.
Yeah,
I am still embarrassed to this day. But I have to own it because that's like one of those things that like
you have to be humble.
I use it as like I told Alex this story so that I'm like
humble.
Learn about women's fashion, please. Just do your homework. Like,
do your homework.
She's not the homework.
Don't
it's
be
everything
cocky.
that is encompassing this experience.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of jumping off of your romper story.
Which I'm not gonna tell. today.
You get it.
we'll pull that out of you next time. But like the way it baffles me how some men really don't understand how women like clothes work. Because I've seen this happen, and in the most simple way, like the bras, like people just don't understand how that works. But like bras that just don't have like clasps or something. They're like
sorcery.
The amount of times that at work, like we've been hiring a lot of like straight men, and like usually my workplace has been like queer people, non-binary, a lot of women and stuff like that. And we don't ever really have a lot of like straight men. Now we are up to like 3, I think, which is like.
There's a tally on there.
There's
like a tally on the man, yeah.
There was a shift in the energy for sure. Not for bad. They're all
No, like that's like funny.
But, anyway, in the amount of times that they're like, can you help me? I don't know how to tie this top. Like, try for more than 10 seconds.
We're going to end on this note because if I have some advice for anybody, if that, to your point,
just YouTube it.
Do your research.
Just research it just a tiny bit. With women's fashion, just so you don't have to be up to date.
No, I will say though, to your excuse,
but I learned so much
after that day.
I will say though, doing research like it wasn't anybody's business.
Your fucking, I will say to your defense, it didn't look like a romper.
Yes, we're gonna leave it at that.
We're basically giving the story away.
No, we're not. Because whenever he told me the romper story, it didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Make any sense. But
until you said it.
The more, if you're gonna take, once you hear the story, eventually one day, if I decide to tell it, you'll understand why. But it is a life-altering decision for a man that is in pursuit of other women in the dating scene, and or probably in a long-term relationship. In a marriage, for you to understand just a fraction of women's fashion, attire, clothing, shoes, accessories. Just a little research. Just a little bit.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
Necessary.
It's going to change your life. I promise.
I agree.
Just to even know the name of some of those things, fucking just
a
just
little
do
bit.
it. Just do it. It's gonna change your life. I promise.
Yes.
I got my peaches down in Georgia. Yeah, shit.
Oh, I hope we don't get copyrighted for that.
Why would we?
Because you started singing it earlier. But it's
we can't. We could get copyrighted for like a name.
Yeah, even like a melody.
Good night.
Like the fucking.
I know one of one of my favorite YouTubers got copyrighted for like humming "Careless Whisper."
Yeah, you see.
Like they really don't like it.
So hopefully we don't copy. But I can just like tune it out. I can just like if it does get copyrighted, I'll just switch it over. All right, let's see. That's done. I'm gonna take you guys to dinner.